Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're having a first impressions look at Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Special thank you to Bandai for the early copy. Kakarot falls under the action role-playing game genre, and at first glance it will look like the other tried and tested Dragon Ball Z games. So let's talk about the main features of this game and why it feels more like an RPG than your normal Dragon Ball fighter. Starting with the core of the game, the story mode, which will feature the majority of the main arcs of Dragon Ball. Starting with the Saiyan saga with both Nappa and Vegeta, moving forward to face off against Frieza. Then you'll have the cells and androids and even Majin Buu after all of that. And as you go through the story, you'll find yourself bouncing around characters from big or to small, each coming with their own abilities and playstyle, and then things are really fleshed out by the support characters too. These support characters help you both in and out of combat, coming with their own abilities or passive effects, depending on their nature, which we'll get into later. In my experience with the game so far, the story mode has been a really good way to enjoy the story itself. There is no filler, it's all straight to the point, covering those main moments in the arcs. Whether you're there to enjoy the story you've read or watched years ago originally, or you're wanting to finally get involved with the Dragon Ball universe, it's a good way to do it if you're overwhelmed by how many episodes are already released these days. For the combat side of things, you'll experience that tried and tested Dragon Ball combat, i.e. that mashup of sudden ground to air fighting using basic attacks, ki blasts, the ability to charge up your ki, and unleashing it all with special super moves that you're able to choose from using a special move palette. You'll unlock more as you go, all varied by the characters that you're playing as. Sprinkled on top are all those support characters who come with their own attacks too, depending on the type of character they are, i.e. offensive, defensive, and special support characters who will actively attack, defend, or even restore your HP or ki during combat. Plus, you're able to use their own special abilities at will when they've seen enough combat in each battle. While you're at it though, you'll also have items to use mid-combat, and of course those all-powerful transformations which unlock even more special abilities. Transformations are locked behind story progress however, and they will get more crazy as you get further through that, obviously. The gameplay during these battles is simple and satisfying, especially when you're pulling off combos with special abilities during chain attacks, or land that flashy vanish attack by dashing at the last moment before you're hit. Whether you're beating each other up in the air or on the ground, it's all going to be a flashy display of animations that you feel in total control of. Now let's move on to what many of you might be wondering about, the free roam gameplay. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot boasts a large map to explore, filled with collectibles, lore, mini-games, and characters new and old. Rather than being totally open world, the land is cut into zones that you simply fly up high into the air and then choose which zone you want to go to. Each zone is very large, I mean expansive, and varied too, with lots of things to encounter in each one. There's side quests, training, and a new important feature called eating. Side quests will buff out the story with small silly interactions and missions to new backstory focus sections that give the creators a chance to explore storylines, while training will allow you to practice that combat, or more importantly, unlock new abilities and attacks. Eating is a pretty simple feature in concept. Eat a meal for a temporary stat buff, varied by the type of meal that you just ate. You'll need the ingredients for each meal though, so you'll have to go out and collect them in the world via fishing, hunting, fighting, or even trading. The majority of what you're doing in the world will be giving you XP, working you towards that next unlock, or just improving your collection. Soul emblems are going to be scattered around everywhere. You're going to be seeing them in the gameplay. I'm just flying into them everywhere. They come in 4 different elements, and they buff up your stats and are relevant to some side quests too, often worth going out of your way to go collect. You've got a new community system that's going to let you link up characters you met in different tables, providing even more passive benefits. Characters that match and fit well together will get extra bonuses too. To say the least, it's a wide variety of things to go do or find. It certainly makes the game feel more like an RPG between those big story mission sections. However, I can't really say any of it blew my mind. Like, I've never seen fishing in a video game before, you know, that kind of thing. It's great for someone who loves the universe and simply wants to exist in it, go experience it, be in it, do anything from fishing, hunting, interacting with the characters, or simply just fly around exploring the lands of this world, collecting different things. For someone who specifically wants to relive or experience that story, it can be mostly ignored if you want to. Only really during the opening section of the game, you know, when you're in tutorial mode, was it kind of forced on me. The free roam will undeniably add more than just a simple story mode playthrough experience that you drop after one completion, adding much more game time to a playthrough if you want to get into it. Finally, there's not much I can really say about the music, the visuals, or the voice acting. It's all just perfect. It all Ball matches. It looks and feels great, it sounds great, it's polished to a bright shine, and that's kind of what you'd expect from the Dragon Ball game series at this point. In conclusion, this is a classic Dragon Ball game for the super fan, and yet super simple and easy to pick up and enjoy as a new player or someone totally new to the Dragon Ball universe at large. This won't be a complex or deep game mechanically compared to, say, a PvP fighter game, but it is much more focused on story and more of a celebration of the Dragon Ball universe, featuring new story elements and an organized retelling of that original story. No doubt there's challenge with this game though, in many of the fights or even the mini games, but it will be super easy for anyone to pick this game up and quickly understand how to play it at the same time. I can only appreciate what they've done with this game. They really know their audience, and they provided a fleshed out RPG styled version of their universe to go explore and battle in. If you love Dragon Ball, I expect you'll enjoy Kakarot, and for someone who's looking to get into Dragon Ball, it's going to provide a great entry point to catch up on everything. For now though, that has been my first quick look at the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot game. I hope it was helpful. I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I will see you next time.